We begin this morning with that devastation across the South.
Many in that region are waking up to the severe damage left behind by dozens of tornadoes that ripped through. It was part of that dangerous winter storm that's making its way across the country. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards declared a state of emergency yesterday after several twisters tore through the suburbs of New Orleans. At least 3 people were killed. State officials are now assessing the damage and racing to find survivors. We have full coverage this morning, beginning with NBC News correspondent Guad Venegas in Killeen, Louisiana.
It's been a wave of deadly destruction for the entire region, with almost 50 tornadoes reported in the last few days as this storm has made its way through the south. Now, this is one of the locations here in Kelowna, Louisiana, where you can see the damage of one of these tornadoes. Were a few homes that have been completely destroyed overnight. We spoke to one of the neighbors who says his house used to sit right there. The home, of course, has been destroyed. He also talked about his next door neighbor, who he was told last night, unfortunately, did not survive. The man that we spoke to said he went outside to run an errand, and fortunately, that saved his life. Now, as of now, authorities in the state of Louisiana have reported the death of 3 people. Overnight on Tuesday, another woman and her 8-year-old son died in a separate tornado. That happened in northwest Louisiana. And then, of course, we've seen the images of the destruction happening. Wednesday, there was also images of another area in New Iberia where a tornado hit that town. Authorities say that some of the structures were damaged and some people had to get rescued from those structures. There's also been power outages across different parts of the state. As of now, the toll, 3 people dead and at least 30 injured across Louisiana as this storm continues to make its way east. Back to you.
Guad, thank you so much. Joining us now for more is Guy McGinnis. He is the president of St. Bernard's Parish. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, just let us know, what's the situation like in St. Bernard's Parish this morning?
Good morning, Joe and Savannah. We're a whole lot better off today than we were back in March with the EF3 tornado that ripped through St. Bernard Parish. And, this tornado came down the same path. And we have about 70 structures that were affected by this tornado. None major homes destroyed, but a lot of rooftops that blew off. Last time we had 70 totally demolished homes and 350 structures. So sadly, we know how this works. We've been working through the night. Our sheriff's deputies, our firefighters, and our road crews have been out all night. They'll be working until this debris gets cleaned up. We've been on the phone with the governor over the night. He's going to be coming out today to make sure that we have the resources to get a quick cleanup here during the holidays.
Guy, yes, it's just heartbreaking. It's happening this time of year, but as you mentioned, it's something that this community is unfortunately used to. How is your community responding this time around? Do they have, at this point, the resources that they need?
We do. A phone call last night with the governor and some of our own resources. We believe we have enough already to take care of this. So that's not the problem. We just want to make sure that our residents are secure, that they're able to get to their properties, that we get all of this debris cleaned up. People were helping people all night. And so our community is doing well. I know our firefighters and our sheriff's deputies have been working all night. That's a little bit of concern this morning. But we're going to have some people come from the state level to help us with this assessment. And we just want to make sure we move forward as quickly as possible. When you call the troops, they're supposed to show up.
Guy, can you describe what it was like when the storm moved through? What did you see? What did you hear?
The sheriff and I were staged in a truck on the highway because we can hear this real-time reporting, which is amazing. I think it saves lives. People are able to prepare. About 15 minutes out, we knew exactly where it was going to hit, the same place where it hit back in March. And it just kind of came over the community, and you can see the transformers blowing up into lights. The sheriff's deputies were on the radio. They know exactly where this tornado was. They were able to get into the areas right after it passed through. So it was just one of those things where people were coming outside, checking on their neighbors, telling us that they were okay, and moving down the street and watching our firefighters. We rescued around 10 people last night in an apartment complex where the roof came off and they couldn't get outside because the door was blocked. Our chief administrative officer, the tornado came right over his house, and it took the roof off of a home across the street from him. He had to go in and help get those people out because they were trapped in. So, these things happen, and to watch the community and to watch our first responders and what they do, it's incredible.
It really is. Guy McGinnis, it sounds like your community is coming together when you really need it. We appreciate your time this morning, and we'll be thinking about you. Stay safe. Thank you so much. And let's stay on this and get the latest track on that major system that's making its way east now.
Yeah, meteorologist Angie Lastman joins us now with more. Good morning, Angie.
Good morning, guys. And unfortunately, we're not done with this system yet. It started off on the West Coast over the weekend and has made its way across the United States. And we still have multiple impacts from this. We do have a tornado watch that remains in effect for a little while longer for parts of the South. We'll talk about that in a moment. But also wintry weather now starting to impact folks in the mid-Atlantic states and moving into the Northeast over the short term. And we still are dealing with the heavy snow and the blustery conditions in parts of the upper Midwest. Let's start with that tornado watch, though. We have seen it kind of shrink in size, but still including many folks here. Now parts of Florida and Georgia included in this. Excuse me. And the rain continues to work through, too. So while we have the potential for some tornadoes today, we also have the potential for some gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour and that hail on the table, too. It looks like this is more of a kind of a wind impact event rather than tornadoes, but we've got to stay on guard in these areas. You see the most likely areas are those shaded in the brighter yellow. So that includes much of Florida into parts of South Carolina as well. And then I mentioned the wintry weather that we're dealing with. This has been working through the Midwest and parts of the northern plains for days now. They're still dealing with wintry weather there, the snow falling, issues with travel. Now we're going to start to see ample amounts of snow falling in places like Duluth that could see up to 2 feet of snow by the time we head into tomorrow. We're also dealing with plenty of rain stretched from places like Pittsburgh to Charleston, West Virginia. But as we move into the mid-Atlantic states, that's where we're going to start to have difficulty with travel. So these numbers as far as impact alerts or winter alerts as far as people impacted are starting to shrink in size for this area. But when we look to the Northeast, that's where we'll start to see these numbers increase. So 32 million people in these winter weather alerts. This does include some ice storm warnings, and this is going to make it really difficult for us as far as our travel is concerned with ice accumulation. There's going to be 1/4 of an inch of ice in some spots, and that's not to mention the fact that we also, yes, will have the rain, and that makes it difficult along the coast for places like Boston to New York and down to D.C., but also inland areas, interior, Northeast, and Mid-Atlantic will have some snow to deal with as well.
All right, a real wintry mix. Angie, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And turning now to the latest on the economy and the Federal Reserve's decision to raise interest rates by 0.5%. Now, that rate hike is less than the 75-point increases we've seen in recent months, and it comes after a better-than-expected inflation report for November. But Fed Chair Jerome Powell said that the central bank remains committed to bringing inflation down and restoring price stability for Americans.
The largest amount of pain, the worst pain, would come from a failure to raise rates high enough and from us allowing inflation to become entrenched in the economy. I wish there were a completely painless way to restore price stability. There isn't. And this is the best we can do.
Our friend, Investopedia editor-in-chief Caleb Silver joins us now to break this all down. Caleb, good to see you. So, of course, from you first, I just want sort of high level, this 0.5 percentage point increase, a step down from what we've seen in recent rate hikes, but it is still a large rate increase. So what do you think this does overall to the economy as we head into 2023?
It slows it down. It's really pick your poison. That's what Fed Chair Powell was saying. It's either high inflation or high interest rates. The lesser evil is high interest rates, but they do slow the economy down and we'll probably enter a recession. Why? Because they raise borrowing costs for consumers and for businesses. But get this, inflation is at 7.1% as of the last reading. A year ago, inflation was at 7%, so it really hasn't changed that much. It's gone up, but we have peaked, but we haven't come down far enough. The Fed wants inflation at 2%. We're a far cry from that, so they're going to keep raising rates higher for longer. That's the message.
So we are, though, starting to see inflation go down finally, kind of hopefully indicating these tools here, these levers they're pulling are working. But how fast do you see it dropping from here? When can people realistically feel like things are better? If they're at the gas station, the grocery store, when do prices ease?
Well, you're seeing it ease in the gas station already. We have prices, average prices around $3 a gallon. That's different. That's because the economy is slowing and because demand is slowing in places like China and India at the moment. That's why gas prices happen to be lower. But if you look at food prices, still very high. Energy, utility prices still pretty high, and shelter still pretty high. And the thing about interest rate hikes is they work on a lag. It usually takes about 6 to 8 months to start to feel the impacts of an interest rate hike, even though we've already felt it in the mortgage market. So we're going to feel these into 2023. And the Fed, if you look at the dot plot, the most boring chart in economics, but the most important right now, that's where Fed officials see interest rates through next year. They see them hitting about 5% at the terminal rate. That's when they're going to stop hiking rates. So we're about 1.5% away from that terminal rate sometime in 2023.
And Caleb, what about the housing market? What's that look like over the course of the next year with this path?
Yeah, the housing market has been in a slowdown all year long. Existing sales, building permits, every metric of the housing market, except for prices, which have finally started to crack. We have that 30-year fixed mortgage now north of 6%. That has really created demand destruction in the housing market. But you're starting to see that come down as demand wanes. People can't afford the down payment and to service that debt. So you're starting to see that mortgage rate come down a little bit. I would expect more of that in 2023, and hopefully prices getting a little bit easier around the major cities, because they've been sky high as inventory's been tight and mortgage rates rising. Bad recipe for the housing market. Should get a little bit better next year.
Hey, Caleb, we saw stocks sell off on Powell's comments yesterday. What do you expect from the market, today in the new year, if the Fed does keep these interest rates higher for longer?
Yeah, stock market did not like the messaging yesterday, which is rates are going to be higher for longer. Folks thought some folks thought the Fed was going to pull back a little bit or pivot or slow much more than they indicated yesterday. So stocks sold off. Why? Because higher interest rates puts pressure on stocks, especially those growth stocks that borrow a lot of money. So we're going to have a shakeout here for a little while. But the back half of 2023 looks pretty good. Once the Fed stops raising rates and the economy gets its footing again, back half should be good, because we've been in a bear market. The year after a bear market, traditionally very, very good for the stock market.
All right, Caleb Silver walking us through it. As always, thanks so much. Good to see you.
New this morning, the White House is preparing to roll out a new plan in its fight against COVID. It comes as we start to see cases rise ahead of the holiday season. This morning, the Biden administration announced its winter COVID-19 preparedness plan, which includes the return of that free at-home test program. NBC News White House correspondent Carol Lee joins us now. Carol, good morning to you. So let's have you walk us through this new plan. What actions is the administration taking to prepare for a potential winter surge?
Yeah, Joe, well, look, the White House is saying that they don't expect this surge to be as bad as last winter, but they are expecting a surge nonetheless. So they're taking several steps with this plan. One is, starting today, Americans can get 4 free at-home COVID-19 tests per household. So they can order those. They're also sending more than 6,500 tests to low-income housing programs, and they're focusing on nursing homes, long-term care facilities. They're expanding a program to get tests to food banks as well. They're also working on trying to increase vaccination. So they're setting up mobile vaccination sites, test-to-treat sites, and urging governors to really try to get people vaccinated, particularly focusing on the elderly, Joe, saying they're sending what they're calling this winter playbook to nursing homes and long-term care facilities to try to get some of the elderly vaccinated, because a large number of them have gotten their initial vaccines, but not those booster shots. Lastly, they're also trying to ready personnel and resources. So they're saying that they have a number of medical personnel who are on the ready, who can be deployed where they need to be, and urging states to use their own resources, such as the National Guard, if they need to.
Let's talk more about those free at-home tests. I know we saw high demand for it in the past. My household certainly took advantage of that. So the White House is bringing it back, allowing people to request 4 additional tests. So how long is the program going to run for, and how do folks actually get these tests? So
the way that they can get the tests is they can order them online at covidtests.gov. CDC.gov, or there's also a phone line that's 1-800-232-0233, so they can call as well to get those tests. And this is something that's starting today. It's running for some time, and that the administration is saying that households should be able to, regardless of the number, that there will be a supply there for those who want those tests.
You know, in the early days of the pandemic, and even a year ago, there were always worries about, do we have enough resources? Do we have enough testing? Do we have enough treatment? So where does the federal government stockpile on those things, on tests and treatments, stand right now as we head into the winter months? And where are they getting the funding for additional tests?
So as far as the funding goes, you'll recall that the White House had asked Congress for additional funding for COVID to deal with a surge like this. They're not getting that. So they're saying they're going back to use funding that was in a COVID relief bill that was passed last year. So that's where the funding is coming from. And in terms of the stockpile, look, they're saying that the White House is saying they have enough of a stockpile in terms of Paxlovid, the treatment for COVID. They've just said they distributed 6 million doses to communities. They're saying that they have over 130 million N95 masks in the strategic national stockpile, so those can also be distributed. And again, they're saying we have enough tests, so Americans should order them, and they will receive them.
All right, Carol Lee. Carol, thanks so much.
Now on Capitol Hill this morning, lawmakers are one step closer to approving a ban on TikTok on all government devices after the Senate passed a bill yesterday. This comes as more and more lawmakers raise concerns over the national security implications from the Chinese-owned app. NBC News White House correspondent Ali Rafa joins us now on that and more happening on the Hill today. Ali, good to have you with us. So this bill passed in the Senate actually by unanimous consent. I mean, that's not something you see a lot these days. And we should note this is a separate bill than the one that Senator Marco Rubio introduced that would ban TikTok outright in the U.S. But what do you think this all says about how serious the concerns that lawmakers hold with TikTok are?
Yeah, Savannah, good morning. Well, we know that U.S. service members in the military are already banned from having TikTok on their government-issued devices. But this bill went one step further, calling for the banning of TikTok on all devices issued by the federal government. As you mentioned, it passed last night unanimously by a roll call vote. That means that all 100 senators didn't object to the passage of this bill. This wasn't all too surprising because this actually happened back in 2020, but the House didn't take this bill up back in 2020 after it passed in the Senate. So it's unclear where this is going to go now. As you mentioned, it's important to know that this is different from that bipartisan bill that Senator Marco Rubio introduced on Tuesday that calls for the banning of TikTok and its parent company, ByteDance, from operating altogether in the United States because of those security concerns that the Chinese government is using U.S. user data for espionage purposes. This is something that has gained steam over the last few weeks and months, where Republicans and Democrats have both voiced their concerns over these security concerns and really the impact it could have on U.S. intelligence. So it's still unclear where these two bills are going to go now, but it is noteworthy that both of them did have bipartisan support, Savannah.
Yeah, absolutely. We know it's something that you'll keep an eye on for us. I also want to ask you about another topic here, the negotiations to fund the government, avoid a shutdown. The House passed this stopgap funding bill yesterday to try to do that. Walk us through how long this funds the government for and the status of the longer-term spending bill.
So remember, as of now, government funding runs out tomorrow at midnight. So lawmakers have been hard at work trying to hammer away the framework of this deal to be able to avoid a government shutdown. The House, as you mentioned, reached this deal on a stopgap measure that would fund the government only until next Friday, the 23rd, giving them a little bit more time to give these lead negotiators time to work out the details of this long-term omnibus spending bill. This now goes to the Senate before President Biden could sign this into law. The Senate could technically vote on this as early as today, because we heard them say on Tuesday, these lead negotiators, that had reached a deal on a framework for that long-term spending bill. They're keeping the details of that deal very close to the vest, but we do know that that top line number that they mentioned is somewhere around $1.7 trillion as of right now.
Ali, also, before I let you go, we're expecting the House to vote on the Puerto Rico Status Act today. Tell us about this. I mean, does this mean that Puerto Rico could become our 51st state if this measure passes the House today?
Yeah, so this measure would consider whether Puerto Rico should become an independent state, should remain a U.S. territory, or should have sort of a special status as its own government that still has associations with the United States. It's important to note that this has been taken up before. This has been taken up roughly half a dozen times since the 60s, but this has gained more steam, and there have been more calls to be able to do this in the last few years because of all the struggles that Puerto Ricans have faced over the last few years, especially in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. There's been rising poverty levels, government corruption, a failing power grid. So there's been more calls to be able to do this. But the gut check here is that even if this does pass the House, where it goes next is going to be tricky because we have that 50-50 evenly divided Senate before a new Congress is sworn in on January 3rd. And it's unclear whether lawmakers are going to add this to their long to-do list that they have to get done in this lame duck session. If they aren't able to get this on their to-do list, this would all have to start over in a Republican-controlled House come January 3rd, Savannah.
All right, Ali Rafa covering it all for us this morning. Thank you so much.
A judge in California has ruled there is enough evidence to charge the man accused of breaking into the home of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and attacking her husband. During the hearing, prosecutors played the 911 call and police body cam recordings from the attack in late October. Authorities also showed the alleged weapon, a hammer, saying the suspect struck Paul Pelosi very hard. And a police officer testified that the suspect also had plans to target others. That includes California Governor Gavin Newsom, actor Tom Hanks, and Hunter Biden. NBC News legal analyst Danny Ceballos is here with more. Danny, good to have you with us. Let's start with the basics. What was yesterday's hearing about? What happened?
A preliminary hearing is just a probable cause hearing. Is it more likely than not that a crime was committed and the defendant sitting over there committed the crime? If so, then the judge holds it over for trial. All that means is it moves from that courtroom and goes into the trial prep process. From there will be discovery. The prosecution will exchange documents, a lot of the documents and information that were referenced at this hearing. And it'll be body cam, 911 call. Not a very document-intensive case here because a lot of it we already know about.
I want to ask you more about that. I mean, yesterday prosecutors played the 911 call. They showed some of that body camera footage. It's obviously compelling evidence. How big of a role is that going to play as this case moves forward, especially if we do go to trial?
Body cam video as well as dash cam video has revolutionized the world of criminal justice. I mean, it's made a he said, she said situation into, oh, the video says and the video doesn't lie. So this is going to be pretty powerful evidence if the video shows what it's been said to show. And we know now that they showed it in court. So a lot of people saw what is on that video. It's not going to be a big surprise to anyone that this case was held over for trial. This is going to be a very challenging case for the defense because the evidence seems to be at this stage a slam dunk.
The suspect is also facing federal charges. He has pleaded not guilty. Will there be much overlap between those two cases?
Yeah, this is a very interesting discussion here of federal versus state authority. What you see in the state charges are classic. The state authorities are the ones that would normally charge this case if the Speaker of the House was not involved. It involves classic exclusive state cases. You've got burglary, you've got home invasion, you've got assault, all of the things that normally are in state court. But there is a federal nexus because a federal official is involved and the attempted kidnapping. So you see a really interesting example of how federal and state jurisdiction overlap some, enough that you can charge someone for the same incident in both state and federal court, as long as the charges are separate enough. And here they are.
All right, Danny Ceballos breaking it all down for us. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Wednesday marked 10 years since the tragic shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School. 26 children and school staff were killed that day. A memorial mass was held last night to remember the victims on this 10th anniversary. There were many children in Sandy Hook that day who survived the shooting, and one of them was Megan Tarpey, who was a third grader at the time and is now in college. She sat down with NBC's Kate Snow.
I think people sometimes think back 10 years and they think of you all as kids. You're not a kid anymore.
No, definitely not.
Megan Tarpey is a freshman at Marist College now. 10 years ago, she was in her third grade classroom at Sandy Hook Elementary when the gunfire started. She doesn't want to talk about the details of that horrific day, but obviously it's had a profound effect on her.
I think it impacts me on more of an everyday basis than anyone could ever imagine, honestly. I think it makes me very cautious person. I'm always like looking around, very like on edge all the time.
Is it hard to trust things?
Yes, it's very hard to trust people or like feel safe, even being at home or anywhere, like in a grocery store. Like it's very hard to feel safe, and because you really never know what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, I mean, it strikes me that you and your classmates in the whole school were exposed to like the worst of humanity in one day.
I was so young at the time, and we were all really just starting to like experience our childhood. We kind of got that like taken away from us.
Do you remember a time from before?
No. I wouldn't say so. I feel like it's been like my entire life.
She stays in close touch with friends from Sandy Hook, but she's also making new connections at college. Part of the campus ministry, she enjoys doing community service. And because of what she lived through, she says she hopes to go to law school and become a prosecutor.
I just think I want to see and be a part of people, like the bad people in our society getting punished for what they did. Because I think enough times, like, it doesn't really happen nowadays sometimes.
You want to be on the side of justice?
Hopefully, yeah.
A quarter-mile from the new elementary school, a memorial opened last month.
I think every time I go back to that, the whole property of the school, it makes me feel a little like at peace in a way, because when I look at the school, I think it's beautiful, and I think kids will feel safe going there, and that's what any of us would want.
The names of those lost are inscribed on the granite circle.
It makes me very upset that they couldn't live the life that I'm living now, because I never want to take life for granted. I know none of my friends and I do, because it made us realize how precious life is and how much we need to appreciate it.
Our thanks to Kate Snow for that moving report. Now, Megan also said that as she's grown up, she's realized she's had to find a way to look for positives in life. And she said that that was hard to do, but it has ultimately helped her heal.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.